Now, we are going to call to order the Warrenville Public Library District regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, Wednesday, September 21st, and it is now 7:10 p.m. And we are going to have a roll call. Trustee Richardson.
You do that. Here.
Trustee Ratika.
Present.
Trustee Luzon.
Here.
Trustee Pika.
Present.
Trustee Warren.
Present.
Trustee Stahl. Present. Trustee DeRocher is also here. Director Whitmer is here. And Paul Doverson and Mary Kelly Marquez and Kathy Gatos and Jackie Gatos. All right. I don't think that there's anything that we need a closed session for, which I need, yeah, there it is. So I would like to strike the closed session and I can have a motion for approval.
I move that we approve the published agenda with the omission of items 18 and 19.
I'll start.
No, 18 stays in.
Just 19. It's 19. I didn't, my glasses are fogging up.
Motion was made by Trustee Pika, seconded by Trustee Warren. That's voice?
Yeah.
Individual? Yeah. Trustee Stahl?
It could be all voices
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Roll call.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We now have our agenda approved. Do we have any presentations?
We do that.
Public comments? Do we have any public?
No public comment.
Any correspondence? Memo,
No.
Attorney Ritzman. Page 5.
So this was received at the end of August, from Attorney Ritzman. Just outlines the details about the consolidated election next April. And we don't have these out for the public yet, but if any of you are interested, these are the packets for the trustee seats that will be up for election in the spring. And
Those are Trustee Ritzika and
Trustee Ritzika, Trustee Stoll, and Trustee Warren. So they're on three seats, and Trustee Ritzika has already advised she will be not joining them. Correct. And they cannot be circulated prior to Tuesday, September 20th, so you all can, whoever wants to can have that. For sure.
All right.
Does anybody still want me on the board?
Heather, we need you for the next.
I was gonna say,
The next recruitment. First elections after. It's up to you. It's been a long time.
Well, tell me that's the thing, it's like, sometimes I struggle with them, I hear too long.
No, no. All right, thank you for that, Sandy. All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. Almighty Secretary.
Okay. Oh, okay, you're right. Item number A, approved minutes of the August 17th, 2022 regular board meeting. Item B, approved minutes of the September 7th, 2022 special board meeting. Item C, receive and file financial report for August. Item D, approve annual statement of income and disbursements for fiscal year 2022. Item E, adopt ordinance number 22-23-02, budget and appropriation ordinance for 2022-2023 fiscal year. Item F, adopt resolution number 224, resolution to determine estimate of funds needed for 2022-2023 fiscal year. Item G, approve chief fiscal officer certificate of estimated revenue for 2022-2023 fiscal year. Item H, approve public disclosure of total compensation posting for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, as required by the Illinois Public Act 97-0609.
All right, may I have a motion?
I move.
All right, second? Second. Motion was made by Trustee Warren and seconded by Trustee Luzon. Trustee Stahl.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Pika.
Aye.
Trustee Luzon.
Aye.
Trustee Ritzika.
Aye.
Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
and trustee DeRocher votes aye. Consent agenda is passed. Okay. Regular agenda, page 35, approved payments for the period of August 18th. Actually, you really want to look at your
Pay invoices in the
Your
amount
extra
of
point?
62,000. Is that what you want?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Pay invoices in the amount of 62,171.08 for the period of August 18th, 2022 through September 21st, 2022, including the account payments and checks 8983 through 9041, checks 8994 and 9036 are voided.
A second,
All right, trustee Redzika made that motion and trustee Stoll seconded. Now we'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Richardson. Hi. Trustee Redzika. Trustee Redzika.
Aye.
Good. Trustee Lazan. Aye. Trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll.
aye.
Trustee DeRocher votes aye. And the payments are passed.
May I ask the check for 15,000, roughly 16,000, that's for the doors, am I correct?
I believe so.
For
Was it
Shields and-
Shields McNutt?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for the.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I move that we transfer $150,000 from commercial checking account to operating checking account.
And I move the second.
Motion was made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Warren. Trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Pika.
Aye.
Trustee Lazan.
Aye.
Trustee Redzika.
Aye.
Trustee Richardson. Aye. Trustee DeRocher votes aye. The funds are transferred. Okay, approved. Now we're on to unfinished business, page 39, authorized expenditure for up to 2 trustees to attend trustee day at the 2022 Illinois Library Association. So I thought we did this.
So this is simply,
Well,
Cindy is interested in
I am
attending,
going, yes.
but after the last meeting, Rick indicated that he might possibly be able to go.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if that's.
yes, they came out with the schedule for early election judges, so I
Okay.
got that
So you
day
can
off, so I
go?
could
Oh, good.
drive you.
Good, I can go with you.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so we just need the motion at the bottom of the page then.
I authorize registration expenditure for trustee Warren to attend the ILA annual conference on October 2022 and reimburse each trustee for mileage, tolls, and parking.
So you're moving for us.
Okay, I move that the board authorize registration expenditure for trustee Warren to attend the ILA annual conference on October 20th, 2022 and reimburse each trustee for mileage, tolls, and parking.
We didn't have to.
Second.
See, that's
All
why
right.
my glasses came up.
So I can-
Motion was made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Richardson. We have to do roll
If
call.
I would do a roll.
Okay, trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Warren. Oh, you,
Abstain.
trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Lazan. Aye. Trustee Redzika. Trustee Richardson. Aye. Trustee DeRocher votes aye. Motion carries. All right. Yay, you're both going. Fantastic.
I'm meeting here at 7.
Yes.
7, okay.
Yes, I suppose.
All right.
We gotta
On to
get
page
done.
39, the
Okay.
juicy stuff. Let's hear from Paul.
So we ran a survey in the youth services department regarding the iPads, if they should be left in the department, removed, but we also asked a few other questions about if parents allow their children to use their own iPads at home, or even just use the iPads here at the library. And I did report some of the findings here, if you will. The survey was also included in e-news, and we had it at the youth services desk along with the kiosk as well. We did have 13 responses from the public. I'll just highlight some of the bigger questions here. Do you allow your child to use the iPads in the youth services department? Is 9 yes and 4 no's, and that was the majority yes. Some of the comments, we asked if they did say no, why they didn't allow the child to use it. A lot of them were that people who came to the library to read books and interact with others. And they say that the iPads are a distraction for me. And we did ask a few other questions, like we do have a sign over there that says, please limit your use to 20 minutes. We did ask if that sign is helpful, but 50-50, so I'm saying that's, a lot of the responses, 11 to 2, would say they do have an iPad, tablet, computer at home. So, and that's the following question is, do people, parents allow their children to use those devices at home? And the majority also said yes. And there was a lot of support for them in some of the comments as well. Yeah, a lot of, I think there was only one that asked for removal of them completely. Most of them were either leave it or make it available to check out on use services desk. So after reading the results and everything, we decided that we are going to keep them where they're at. We are putting up another sign instead of a survey, but a link to the article that's on page 43, the congregation's guidelines to make that decision if we want to, have their child use the iPads either here or at home, and depending on their age, it kind of uses information from the American Pediatric Association to help them make that decision.
Okay.
But is it possible to have that link in the QR code?
It would be, yeah,
I just think that would be helpful as opposed to. just
absolutely.
posting.
So it'd be like in that little flyer, and then it would say for more information about iPads and guidelines, it would link right to that. Yeah, I was hoping we would get some more responses, but,
And how long was the time period you solicited?
it was a month.
All right, well considered, and we appreciate your effort in that endeavor.
Sure.
And so you're just gonna leave them exactly where they were.
As is, yeah.
Okay.
So my question was, how does the staff feel? I mean, do they feel that it's a problem? Or, I mean, I know that we're trying to, combination let people decide for themselves and, but does the staff has the staff ever seen that it's a problem?
Not necessarily. I mean, we've just gotten occasional comments from parents, but the only official, I guess, request to remove was that you never started the whole thing.
Have you heard from that individual again?
Oh, no, they did not. Fill out the survey. At least to my knowledge. So.
Interesting.
But yeah, with the staff, I mean, the only thing that I've heard from staff is sometimes it causes occasional meltdowns, but I could be like a number of things in the library, so.
I don't think.
The children's section thing.
Yeah. Like the library giving through their books, so.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul, for doing that and doing all the work around it. At least we can back it up when we hear from the parent, which we probably will.
And it's really nice of the public got to see that there was a response.
Yes. So we do want to be responsive to it. All right, anything else, Paul, around that? No, any questions? All right. Moving on to new business on page, no. Yeah, no, 40, on page 40. Oh, okay. I said 40. All right, approving the revisions to the employee plan. What happened to receiving update review staff? Okay, never mind. All right, sorry. Sleep. I'm tired. All right, page 44. Approve revisions to the employee handbook.
I move that we approve revisions to the employee handbook, health/dental/vision, life insurance, including changes to cost sharing for insurance premiums effective January 1st, 2023.
Motion was made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Lazan. Discussion. Anybody have anything to discuss? You have anything to say about it, Sandy?
I really don't have anything to say other than this just follows with what we discussed during the budget process. My only, I do have some recommendations on page 44, about midway through the page. That in subsequent years, I think during the budget process, the board would consider increasing the premium sharing for dependent and spouse coverage by 5 to 10% of the budget allows. To get us closer to maybe 70 or 80% of the library paying that portion of the share. I think that would be beneficial. The other consideration the board may wish to make in the future is providing insurance as an option for part-time 30-hour employees as well. That would help us, that would be a benefit and help us retain some of our part-time employees.
And how much of a budget thing would that be? I mean, would it be difficult for us to do?
I think you could absorb 5 to 10% each year. I've just calculated, I was working on the levy for next year, and because of the, well, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but because of the consumer price index and the inflation rates, we'll be able to capture 5% growth, if that's what the board chooses to do, which should bring about $100,000 more income into the budget next year. I'm sorry, I won't be here to see that, but it's a good thing to be excited about. So that will help offset any decision. If nothing else, just, increasing that share of percentage even for full timers by 5 to 10%. And
What are
family
you
coverage.
recommending for the share of the library pays if we part-time, or should we go that route? The same?
I think it would be fair to do the same, yes. It would make life easier as well for the administration, benefits.
That was my thought, but I wanted to. make sure
Yeah.
I'm right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between medical PPO 750? Is that the deductible and 50?
Yes. Yes,
That's
that's the
the
deductible.
I was just interested in the difference in the
Yes.
inflation.
And the high deductible plan with HSA, I believe that the deductible next year, I think it's $2,800. And that's set by the IRS. But that high deductible plan, once you meet that deductible, has no copays. So there's a little bit of a benefit.
So you're-
Yeah,
Near what we've.
I know. That's for the individual, the family, it's more, but yeah, it's still. I know. Mhm.
Great, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do a roll call. Heather Stoll. Trustee Stoll.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Lazan.
Aye.
Trustee Rosika. Aye. Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
And trustee Drew votes aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to page 48. Discussing the timeline for formation of committee on the productive efficiency. Oh, joy.
This is just an update
I know.
to keep it on the
I just
table.
forgot all about it and there it was
I'm
again.
sorry. I am sorry.
Forgot all about that thing.
So it's,
Increase our efficiency by making another committee.
That's it, right? That'll make us really efficient.
should run for office. Anyway, these are just reminders for you. I think my recommendation is to hold off on this until after.
Until absolutely necessary.
Probably, yes.
Until June 10th.
Yeah, I would say this is probably something you can pick up in March or April. At the board meeting, but perhaps gives,
Director takes over.
yes, perhaps give some thought as to who you would want your public members to be.
I have a totally unrelated. You've made 2 recommendations tonight for the future and you will be absent.
Oh, yeah, I have a long list.
Are you making a list that you? you
I'm
can
making a
either
list. It might
turn
not be a
over-
complete list, but I'm trying.
Okay.
I don't
That
want
was
to
my
scare
question.
them away either, so.
So,
Thank you.
I think we ought to stick Cindy with being the public.
However, and the other
She's
thing
like, I'm
here
trying to move away.
is the state has not issued any administrative rules that relate to this. Usually they issue some sort of rules for us to follow. So there's no real expectations, just
I
the
don't think we need to be the leader.
legal piece. And I believe that Rails will probably be offering some training, a program or something about this. So
Yeah, because
there should be some additional information forthcoming.
I mean, I think all of us on the board have, you know, been through, I don't know, the process. My thing is for the public, if they don't understand and
I think we can be, thoughtful about some people to invite to join us. Thinking former board members. On my line, Amy and Cheryl. And maybe a couple other people who are civically minded out there, who haven't necessarily been board members.
How about Sandy Whitman?
She doesn't live here.
Yeah. She's moving.
Are you moving?
I was just trying to.
No, okay. All right,
So do you want me to leave notes that this might be something to pick up in?
that would be
March.
fantastic, because I will be,
I don't
Yep.
think we'll remember that was the.
in the meantime, we need to start thinking about some people and ask them.
Okay,
I suppose
I
I
think we just want to leave things as this. Because what we said,
I mean, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
like that.
There's a fine involved if we don't.
Probably.
Like the word there.
All right, moving on to page 49.
Warm, it doesn't say.
The first draft of a levy ordinance, truth and taxation notice. Does anybody have anything they want to say about this? It's a long draft.
it's a long draft. I think the most important thing is on page 49. I just would like to get a sense of how the board feels, if you want us to levy for that full 5% increase. Or if you'd rather we fall below the 5% increase, so we don't. I think that's the decision most local boards are grappling with or trying to decide,
Why would
It's-
we not do the whole 5%?
because you don't want to increase people's taxes at the rate that 5% is giving.
Right now, it's kind of a hot topic,
So,
creating a lot of anger amongst people.
yes. So we've always maxed our levy. It's the opportunity for us to capture those funds. Even if we don't use all of them for current expenses. This is how we can grow that special reserve fund and save money for future capital projects, whether it be finishing the lower level or replacing the roof or tearing up and replacing the pavement in the parking lot. Replacing the air conditioning unit. It's the savings. So even though it looks like we're probably gonna get somewhere between $100,000 and $120,000 increased income next year. That's another thing, be careful of, you may not want to spend all of that at one time, but if you do not levy for that full amount, you won't be able to capture it in the future. It will be gone and it will impact your future levy years.
So if we strategically only levy for 4% of the first 5, we would be stuck at 4 indefinitely?
No, it would be then your next year's levy would based on that, be
Yeah,
based
I
on that
get,
lower
okay,
amount.
I get that.
Yeah.
All right.
And you
Compound interest.
always,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, you always have the option of the board, if you find that your fund balances you feel are too high, you've accumulated too much money, you always have the opportunity to abate taxes back to your residents, so that would effectively you would lower the amount that you're levying in the future. You levy for it, you captured it, and now you're gonna return part of that previous year's money to them in the future. And the attorney can help you with that, but there is the option if you feeling accumulated too much money.
What
You
is
can
the
abate the tax.
objection process, from the residents? Did we publish it? Have you ever been involved in that before?
Yeah. We've had tax objections, and we had, thought at least on 2 occasions, we've had
Mhm.
tax objections.
So we've had tax levy objections when we have levied or accrued more in a fund than we're legally allowed to. And then that money goes back. It goes through a long legal process and maybe 10 years later, there's
Oh, no.
credit
I'm
back.
talking about if someone feels that the 5%.
They can come to this, the truth and taxation public hearing is where they would come, state their case. But ultimately it's the board's decision. to
That's what I
levy.
wanted to hear.
Mhm.
There are groups that like make this their business, just
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
So, not that they, oh, no, they seem to be interested in any taxing body these days.
Yes, when these tax objections come from, they're usually corporations that own property and they hire attorneys groups. And those objections come in and it's a big packet of them. So they're not filing against one entity at a time. They're filing a group of complaints. And typically that, for us anyway, it happened when we had small funds, a separate fund for IMRF, a separate fund for
That's what we got rid of.
specific, the audit, yes, so we've gotten rid of those. So just the general fund, and because we're transferring money out of the general fund into the special reserve fund, they can't object to what's in the special reserve fund, it's only the corporate fund. And we're well below that. Legal, you can accumulate up to 2.5 times your annual expenditure amount in the corporate fund, so we're well below that. We'd have to
So
have-
based on the ramifications of what would happen if we ask for less than 5%, that's a greater, probably greater penalty than asking for
For
5%.
5%, yeah. I would
And
agree with
having
that.
opposition.
Now, what is published? Just this notice?
The notice that's on page 56. That gets published in the Daily Herald. It's known as the Black Border Notice. And Jackie's Black Border probably doesn't meet the legal specifications. There are legal specifications for this notice that say how thick that black border has to be, as well as the font size, how many points the font has to be, how big it has to be. So it is published in the Daily Herald, it's circulated pretty widely. We also posted on a bulletin board outside of the library and put it on our website. In my time here, I've only had one call objecting to the levy, and that was when the first TIF district in Cantera ended, and our percentage increase was an ungodly like 50%.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to leave any money on the table. That was the only time I received one phone call, explained to the person what it was about. And that was really end of story. So we may hear from somebody because over 10%.
Right.
11%.
I don't know, everything else is being inflated, so
Mhm.
5% is almost a deal.
Right.
Yeah, but our increase is 11.26%. That's
And it's-
more than what inflation is right now. Not
And
much
it's
more.
important to know that that high number is there because I don't know the exact numbers of the assessed valuation increases. So that is, they call it a balloon levy, you levy for more than you may expect to get, and the county will reset that.
Right, so that's a good deal. But,
Right.
at least when people show up here, they see that the money was spent for something that's being returned to them, not just.
Right.
for-
Right.
I don't have any problem with the whole amount.
Yeah, I don't either. Is anybody objecting to the 5%?
No,
Okay.
okay.
I feel our little organization is small peanuts compared to
I would think.
other things that people would
Yeah, like
object.
the airport over there and
They should be worried about the school district. Go focus on the school district.
All I can say is if you ever want to see one, I've seen plenty over at the county.
Oh, the
We
objection.
either boxes that we lost. Yeah.
Wow. All right, we hope that that never comes to fruition.
Yes.
All right, I think we can move on. Any other questions or points of discussion, Sandy?
No, not for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. 57, new business, review and approve holiday closure.
I move we approve the recommended holiday closure schedule for 2023.
I said,
Motion was made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Warren. Any discussion, Sandy, you want to highlight anything here?
I don't think I need to highlight. I think it's pretty straightforward. It is the same holiday schedule as this year. I did know that we've added the floating holidays for the days that we are open, but for whatever reason. we want to take it.
12 days off is hardly extravagant compared to other organizations that are out there, so it's.
I'm up to
well-
14.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
So,
All right,
so the only other question I had on this though was, so we're not doing anything with Jubilation Day, would that be a federal holiday?
No, we have a lot of federal holidays that we're open, so that's fine. President's Day, Thanksgiving Day, Veterans Day.
All right, this could be a voice vote.
Indigenous.
I think you can
Roll
do
call?
voice. You want a roll call? We can do a roll call.
Well, I thought this was a policy though. wasn't it?
No, it's not really. Just do a roll call.
We'll be done.
Trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Warren.
Aye.
You're voting. Trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Lazan.
Aye.
Trustee Rutsika.
Aye.
Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
Trustee DeRosa votes aye. Motion carries. All right. Let's go to director's report. Yay. What's going on here in insurance world?
Yeah, I just thought you'd be interested in seeing what the rates are doing with our insurance plans, so you can see that.
Lots of increases.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
Last year, they held at 0, so there was no increase last year, so
16.
this year they're making.
Say
Um,
again?
I've heard that 16 and 18% is out there, so please,
Yeah.
we're hearing.
Okay, so that's what's happening there. COVID-19 updates, you can kind of read through that. We've been slowly making some changes there. And then I've been focusing a lot of my time on hiring for 5 different positions. So I start, in-person interviews start on Friday, continue probably for the next 2 weeks. You can see we have plenty of applicants, and I do have qualified applicants for every position, some stronger than others, but
Very impressive.
yeah.
So
it
how
was
many
nice.
people are you interviewing each of those categories?
It depends on the position. So I have 2 for the member services assistant, which is a shelter, 2 people who have library experience elsewhere, so which is great. I won't have to give them the skills tests that we usually do with brand new employees. Depends. I have 5 graphic designers that I think I'm gonna bring in. 3 HR managers.
Are the HR managers from a library or are they private sector?
I believe I only have 1 that is from a library / government setting. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
So we'll be
Okay.
busy with those.
Good.
So what did you tell them to find inside books?
Nothing fancy. We don't have any excellent stories about things we found in books. You know, bookmarks that might be sentimental, photographs occasionally. We haven't found money, like some libraries have found money.
So that was the direction the article was going. I thought it would be more contentious.
No.
Content as opposed to.
Yeah, there's been some.
Items.
No. We did have, one of our staff, said they had found an individual's like, some important paperwork. I'll just say that, that they had left in the book, and we were able to reconnect that paperwork with the person. So That was it. But interesting article. We did not find the $1.3 billion lottery ticket in our-
That was claimed. I heard that.
So sorry. I heard yes.
Nice windfall for the library.
Could be. Anyway, that is all.
Didn't find a winning lottery.
Okay, any questions about my report?
I was very excited to read about, being able to remove some of the plexiglass and returning stuff to the original place. That's great.
Yeah.
Not good that you will not have to return.
Overly excited.
No, let's bet now.
That's just been stored, right? That
All right,
hasn't
let's-
been disposed
Oh,
of.
right, it's stored.
We'll do the last one.
Move to the departmental reports. Well, I like the assistant to the director report. That's really nice.
What do you like about it?
Just. Lots going on. Yeah. Why can't we wait till the new delivery doors?
They're here.
Yay.
That's always encouraging.
I don't know why, I don't know how, but the format of the report has changed, and I'm not sure here.
We changed the font.
Something different.
Is it easier to read? Okay, good.
That old English was difficult. I agree.
Oh, I don't tell you. I'm in Roman.
Okay. It's great to see that so many people went to the Swan Expo.
Yes.
I have to say, I'm really, really happy as both a member and a trustee that we have joined Swan. I think it's been phenomenal for us.
Oh, yes.
It was a big deal doing it. It took a long time of waiting and also a long time of implementation, but I'm so glad we did it.
And do you? I think the numbers now are going out set to, you're still able to manage as far as incoming and outgoing, so.
Yes. One of the positions we're hiring for is a 20-hour shelver, and that will help us.
Because I see it when I'm in 2,000.
Yeah,
Which is huge from in my.
it's amazing when you consider the fact that maybe in a good month, we sent maybe 300 or 400 items.
And just for clarification, the curbside pickups are just at the table, we're not
Yes.
running outside.
Yeah, at some point. We should probably consider calling it lobby pickup instead of curbside pickup.
No,
Unless the new member services manager wants to implement.
Are we gonna
Walking
actual
outside.
curbside pickup? Are we gonna frame that Long House record? Like it should be part of. Which
No.
Well,
It's
I just
been
have a question about
filed.
your report. You were talking about the using data to tell a story.
Yeah.
You said I hope to use it to gain data on our underserved areas in our library district. And are you also talking about underserved populations or just places in the library that don't get a lot of traffic?
But this is the community.
Oh, community, okay,
Bring more people into it. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
So-
so like basically, anywhere you're finding. Now, but. I mean, this software is going to be undertaking to get that information, but.
Great. I'm interested in what you find out. Please keep us apprised.
Yeah, that piqued my interest too. And also, I like the idea of having the telescopes available during
Oh,
the
that's
evening type activities. And where do you partner to get telescopes?
So we have our own, but then we have a massive ambassador that came to at least one concert. They didn't come to the second one in August because the cloud cover was too dense. But yeah, we have throughout our channels of, find some mass ambassadors. We used to work with Sean Nichols from the planetarium. She's not doing a lot of library outreach at the moment. Yeah, but it was even, we just had our own out there last concert. We had about 20 people or so, I think. And there are a lot more of the previous one.
And when Paul says our own, it's part of our ticket to go mobile device collection, so you can actually check out
Check it out.
a telescope for 2 weeks and take it to your home or wherever you would like to take it.
I'm curious, I realize we can't we're not using Orange Boy, but what is Orange Boy or what does it do? I was just.
It's like, a marketing tool essentially, where they give you templates for surveys and everything after programming or stuff like that, and they collect all the information, but they also collect like, for email campaigns, like clicks and everything like that, or the subscription.
I was gonna say, Kia, did you know more about Orange Boy or?
Orange Boy is very expensive market.
Yeah.
That
You can, it's a database program essentially for sending emails, surveys, and there's stuff where you can, create lists and segments from that wanted, people who have ever checked out a science kit, oh, let's send them an email on science kits, so it keeps track of a lot of that.
I think our meeting number must be using that, some of the emails like that. And sending programs.
A lot of email programs do have, segmenting capabilities like ours does as well, at a much higher price point. And the other, but to your point, Jerry, are you attending in-person programs or the virtual? programs?
Virtual for me.
So those come through Zoom. So
Oh,
we
okay.
have, if we have a Zoom program, Zoom has a function that we could set up an email that goes out to all of our Zoom participants.
With like, who's done, like the American man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an excellent program.
Yes, it was.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Kathy, in your report, so I'll ask you. I see Diana went to the VFW. And to, I mean, what was that? I know National Night Out was successful. What's the success report on that? Did you include that?
From, I'm sorry, from being at the food pantry and
And the VFW Burger one, yes.
I created her go boxes and I heard, from Diana how wonderful and successful both of them were. Like, it was a great opportunity, especially at the food pantry.
Yeah, the food pantry, but I was curious about the VFW.
VFW, she also said it was a really good night. It's a very different crowd from what I understand.
Different demographics, I would definitely.
But she was able to engage with a large amount of residents. I don't know if there's a statistic on it. And I thought they were both great places, especially food pantry. She was able to speak with a lot of people in Spanish.
What was in the go box?
Oh, my go box. It's, they tell me they're going somewhere and then, I would stuff in a box. Marketing materials, we have a lot of set marketing materials ready to go, but then I pick and choose some that I think would be good for that particular audience. And with input from them, like Burger Night, we sent some posters. Some of our posters we had bought a few years ago. Diana said they love that. And I would send a specific flyers. Oh, I think it's going to be more of an adult audience, so let's talk about some of our adult programming.
Oh, good. I just think it's excellent that you're choosing different, not all the same. That was my point.
Like, I feel that credit probably go more to Paul and his group looking for opportunities. Like, it seems like we both have some outreach opportunities going. And I just assist them with whatever they might need for their planning. Then I have some of my own that I also.
Well, I think it's excellent. The more we get the word out.
So the two events with about 150 people, that engaged with, yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah, and I'll be at Burger Night next Wednesday. Promoting a few things in
A burger and a beer.
Take a coaster.
Got some more also.
Yeah, Diana mentioned that the Burger Night would be great, and there were some details services, resources. It'll be certain home delivery and a lot of different sort like that, like the library and everything.
And the seniors do not. About local library. I think there's a great service. Since they are assigned to do that. Thank you.
All right. Great. Anything else for the department head reports? All righty. Moving on. President's report. I don't have much to report, just our next meetings. And so we'll just move on to the treasurer's report.
As everybody can see here, the county treasurer has distributed 95.5% of our budgeted property taxes. So we're on board, just on target with that. Sandy already went over the different corrections for the budget and appropriations. And Fifth Third Bank has been increasing our rate.
Oh, that's good.
Well, what do you know?
Which
If
is
we'll ever get to one.
Yeah, I remember when it was like the minimum was 5. I remember that on savings account. The minimum was 5. So, but it's good news.
It is.
Every time.
All right.
Every penny counts is right.
Secretary, do you have a report? Everything looks good. All right, we didn't have any committees meet, I don't think. Any trustee comments? No, all right. Any other items? No. All right,
I
our
move
final.
that we adjourn the regular meeting of the Warrenville Public Library District for September 21st.
That was such a long motion. We had 3 people second.
Hey, you know, I got.
All in favor?
Uh,
The second, we'll call it Nancy Lozano.
Nancy Lozano.
Sandy Lozano. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Don't forget to